Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam wa rasulullah. We thank Shaykh Abdullah Hakim Quick for this talk, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards him. Inshallah, it's the time for the questions and answers. And as Shaykh said, if anyone has a question, inshallah, he can direct to the Shaykh, inshallah, or he can write in a piece of paper, inshallah.
You want the priority for the non-Muslims?
Shaykh is saying to the non-Muslims, they have more priority today to address their questions, and you can ask about anything, inshallah, and the Shaykh will answer you, inshallah.
Okay, we want to open up the floor for any questions that anybody has. This is a formal setting, like a lecture, but actually we're actually very, very informal. So if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask one. Yes, sir. Say that again. What do we call? Right. Going into space. Okay, well, there's no restriction about going into space, and even flying or going up into the atmosphere. That there's no restriction. And if it's not for the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, illa bi-idhnillah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows for people to go up into the atmosphere, there's nothing wrong with that. Like airplane travel and whatnot, there's nothing wrong. Only the difficulty comes if people go into space, and because of that they get a God complex. They start to think that they're God because they go up, then this is the problem. But in terms of going into the space, there's nothing wrong with it. My only problem with Cape Canaveral and what is happening in many of the countries is they're wasting a lot of money. They just recently lost this ship that they sent out. I think they said $185 million US, just for an experiment, because they want to fly a plane 5 times the speed of sound. People are starving to death, and you have the money to play with a little toy because you want to fly faster than 5 times. What good is it going to do to you, man, when people are starving to death? This is the only real blame that I would say about doing that. Okay, the floor is open for any other questions anybody has. Sisters, if you have a question, you can feel free to either ask it or you can write it. It's up to you. Floor is open. Okay, the question is there a known reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls himself He in the Qur'an as opposed to she or neutral pronoun? The usage within languages, many of the languages, because of the predominance of men within the societies, he is used, but the he, when it's being used in Arabic, obviously does not mean masculine or feminine, because it is clear within the text of the Qur'an that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not male or female, and the he is only used as a way of language. It's a way within language they were expressing the concept of the Creator through he. And to say it in Arabic, there's no it like in English. Even English, just to call God it wouldn't make sense, because that denotes non-intelligence. So in English they would say he with a capital H, right? And so it is understood through the actual Arabic grammar what it means. Okay? Any other questions? See, the brother Muslim's got my bag. I have my glasses on the side of the bag. Can you bring my bag? Any other questions? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is more of a, I don't know, sort of like more of a personal question to me, because I come from a Christian background, and I'm thinking of becoming Muslim.
Right.
And I was just wondering if I was to convert, would I have to change my name? Has that got anything to do with it, or?
Okay, it's a good question.
Because that would be a really sort of a big problem within the family.
Yeah, actually, there's nothing in Islam that actually says that you have to change your name. And the early followers of the Prophet ﷺ basically maintained their names. If you see the early people of Bilal and Umar and Uthman and Ali, they didn't change their name. There was a case of Abdul Shams, who was the slave of the sun. And so his name was then changed to Abdur Rahman. Okay, so which is a slave of Ar-Rahman, meaning the creator. So therefore, you have to look into your name. I'll give the example of my close friend Bilal Phillips. I think he was here before. And so, when he came into Islam, we were trying to figure out the names. And so he did some research, and he found out that his name, it was Dennis Phillips. Okay? Dennis is from the god Dionysius, who is the Greek god of sport and play and drinking wine and whatnot. So he said, I have to change that name. But Phillips is a lover of horses. Phillips. So there's nothing wrong with that. Muslims love horses. Okay? So therefore, then he changed his name to Bilal Phillips. Okay? So what is happening is that probably the best way to do it, which many of us do, is that you maintain your surname, which is the family name, or we look at like a name of a qabila, like your tribe or your family. But then the given name, your given name can be changed, or it can remain. But at first, really when you become a Muslim, you don't have to think about that at first. It's not important at all. Okay? Only if a person has a name like Hog or Savage, then you may have to think about it. But even then, it's still a family name, right? In most cases, though, it's fine. So don't worry about that. Many of the Muslims tend to put more importance on the name than on Tawheed. But the crucial thing is the belief in one God. That's the crucial thing. And Risala. That you accept all the prophets and Muhammad ﷺ as the finality of prophets. Once you accept those, you're in, man. You're in. And, for myself, really, what I found is that Islam is really a lifestyle. So if you look at it more as a lifestyle, it's not an official church where you sign a document and all that. That's not the important thing. It's a lifestyle. And the basis of that is the belief in one God, that all of our actions go back to the creator of the heavens and the earth. So may Allah make it easy for you, inshallah, for this change. Any other questions? Anybody has any verbal questions? It says we are being taught about evolution at the university, and we are being told that AIDS is spread from green monkeys. What is the best argument against this? Okay, there are a number of theories concerning the spread of AIDS, or the beginning of AIDS. And in South Africa, there was a conference, the Islamic Medical Association, where leading doctors from around the world came together, and there are a number of theories. One theory, and this may shock you, but this is a doctor who presented this. One theory is that AIDS came from outer space. It's an alien disease. And the aliens brought it to Earth and they infected humanity. But that one is a weak argument which couldn't be supported. The second theory is the theory of AIDS being part of a racial thing. And that it was African people. First, it was a green monkey in Africa who infected an African person. And then it was spread by African people around the world. Now, this is also a very weak argument. Number one, when we look at the spread of AIDS itself, you see there's a tendency, racism comes into disease. In America, whenever somebody gets a flu, they will say Hong Kong flu, Taiwan flu. Like all the flu comes from China, man. When the flu probably came from New York City, but they call it Hong Kong flu. You see? That's racism, man. That's racism. So now, as another way to try to put African people down, they connect it with the green monkey. Scientific documentation has showed when AIDS came out, the highest percentage of AIDS was amongst male homosexuals.